In 1999, the world was convinced that websites would make everyone a billionaire. Fast forward to 2024, and the new belief was that AI and quantum computing would make everyone obsolete. Both eras promised world-changing revolutions. Both created millionaires overnight, and both, eventually, saw their bubbles burst. But here's the shocking twist. History didn't just repeat itself, it mutated. This is the story of the bubble, the reset, and the great reboot that reshaped our future. We're going to travel back in time and fast forward, all at once. Imagine it's the year 2026. Looking back at the last 2 years, 2024 and 2025, feels almost surreal. AI startups that were once the darlings of Silicon Valley vanished overnight. Billions of dollars in market value simply evaporated. Quantum computing, once hailed as the next frontier of technology, became a ghost word in investor presentations, a term best avoided. But honestly, none of this should have been a surprise. Why? Because we've seen this movie before. The script was already written, just with different actors. To understand what happened, we need to rewind the clock. Let's go back to 1999. The late 90s were a wild time. Any startup with a .com in its name could raise staggering amounts of money. We saw companies with no product, no revenue, and sometimes not even a full team of employees achieve valuations in the billions. Investors weren't just betting on companies, they were betting on the internet itself. They believed the internet was a form of magic, and any business built upon it was destined for greatness. It was a gold rush, but for digital real estate pitchies. Com, Webby Bamboo. Com, these names became legendary, not for their success, but for the scale of their failure. By the year 2000, the magic ran out. The bubble burst in a spectacular fashion. Trillions of dollars in wealth were wiped out. The Nasdaq, the tech-heavy stock index, plummeted. It felt like the end of an era. A painful lesson in hype versus reality. But here's the crucial part. Hidden inside that wreckage, a few survivors were quietly picking up the pieces. Amazon survived. Google survived. eBay survived. These companies weren't just lucky. They were different. The crash wasn't the end of the internet. It was a filter. It separated the businesses built on flimsy promises from those built on solid foundations. Now, let's fast forward to 2024. The atmosphere was eerily similar, but the technology was far more advanced. The AI and quantum rush was on. It felt like every week brought a new explosion of innovation. We saw chatbots that could write code, compose some music, diagnose medical conditions, and even negotiate business deals. These tools promised to replace entire workforces and rewrite the rules of every industry. The hype was deafening. Meanwhile, in the world of deep tech, quantum computing was being sold as the ultimate solution to humanity's biggest problems. It promised limitless clean energy, unbreakable encryption, and the ability to design life-saving drugs in mere seconds. The money pouring into this space was staggering. Even faster and more furious than in 1999, founders were raising massive seed rounds based on little more than a pitch deck generated by ChatGPT. Venture capitalists stopped asking, "What are you building?" The only question that mattered was, "How soon can you scale?" It was a frenzy of investment, driven by a fear of missing out on the next big thing. Then, 2025 arrived, and the floor dropped out from under everyone. It started slowly at first, then all at once. One by one, the AI tool companies began to shut down. The market was saturated with thousands of similar apps, all promising to boost productivity, but few delivering real, defensible value. Quantum firms, which had promised breakthroughs in 2 years, suddenly pushed their timelines back. Just 5 more years. They'd say, the stock market, bloated with tech valuations, went through a painful correction. And the employees, the very people who had told that AI would make their jobs irrelevant, were suddenly, ironically, searching for one. The world didn't crash in the same way it did in 2000. It wasn't an apocalypse. It was a reset. It was a collective moment of clarity. Users and investors realized that AI wasn't magic, it was just incredibly advanced math. And quantum computing wasn't an instant revolution, it was a long-term, deeply complex research project. Reality, as it always does, filtered the hype. So, let's compare these two times. What was the same and what was different? Just like in 1999, irrational optimism quickly turned into widespread fear. Just like in 1999, the market punished the weak, the overhyped, and the get-rich-quick schemes were exposed. But here's what was fundamentally different in 2026. This time, the technology didn't disappear after the bubble burst. It integrated. AI didn't end up replacing humans. Instead, it became a powerful tool, a second brain for every worker. Doctors used it to analyze scans with greater accuracy. Programmers used it to write and debug code faster. Artists used it to explore new creative possibilities. It became a collaborator, not a replacement. And quantum computing, it didn't transform all of our industries overnight, but it became the quiet, powerful engine running in the background. It started powering complex climate change simulations, creating next-generation cybersecurity protocols, and accelerating material science research for batteries and superconductors. The revolution wasn't loud and explosive. It was quiet and foundational. This time, we didn't just return to normal. We evolved. And just like Amazon and Google rose from the ashes of the dot-com crash, a new class of companies emerged from the ruble of 2025. We now call them the Reboot Titans. Well, they weren't the ones with the flashiest marketing or the most sensational headlines. They were the companies that focused on solving real, tangible problems. They were the ones who prioritized earning revenue before chasing media attention. They built technology that people actually needed and used, day in and day out. They combined the power of AI with genuine human insight. History teaches us a simple, brutal rule. The bubble doesn't choose the winners, the crash does. The crash is the ultimate test of resilience, value, and vision. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine it's the year 2036. Someone is watching this video, this digital artifact from the past. They'll probably shake their heads and laugh at us. They'll say, "Can you believe those people thought quantum computing could fix everything overnight?" Or, "How could they have thought that AI taking some jobs meant humanity's story was over?" The answer is simple. Every generation believes it is living in the final chapter of history. We always think our challenges are the ultimate challenges, our technologies the final technologies, but the truth is, we are always at the beginning of something new. The Great Reboot wasn't about failure. It was about filtration. Think about it. The dot-com crash didn't end technology. It purged the nonsense and gave birth to the rich, interconnected digital world we all live in today. It paved the way for social media, smartphones, and the entire app economy. In the same way, the AI and quantum correction of 2025 didn't kill innovation. It porfied Italiano. It stripped away the hype and forced everyone to focus on what truly matters, creating real value. The Great Reboot wasn't a setback. It was a second chance. It was the start of a new timeline where technology stopped trying to replace humanity and finally started to truly serve it. It forced us to be smarter, more grounded, and more human-centric in how we build the future. And that is a future worth being excited about. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey through time interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next exploration. See you in the future.